In this video, we're going hunting for comics at Ontario Comic Con. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video with Spec. And in this video, that's right, we're doing another comic book hunting video. We're at Ontario Con in this one here, and it's a pretty cool show so far. I'm really looking forward to visiting all the booths that they got. Be looking for keys and stuff like that. So come on with me. Let's see what's out there and see if we can find any good deals. Well, it was a great show. I got a lot of great books, so let's go back home and see how I did. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that footage. I had a lot of fun at Ontario Con. It was a great show. I got to meet a lot of people who watch the channel, so that's always really, really fun. And I also picked up a lot of great books. So let's get into the fun stuff right away here, and we'll kind of flip through and I'll kind of explain why I picked up what I did. But the number one book that I picked up, this is the biggest one I picked up over the weekend. You guys might have seen it in the montage, but I actually picked up a Tales To Astonish number 44, First Appearance of the Wasp, Janet Van Dyne. And when I came across this book, my eyes absolutely lit up. I mean, the guy had it priced at like $385, I think, but he actually ended up giving it to me for $300. This is probably a 2.0 grade. So to me, it felt like a really good buy because I feel like this book hasn't like hit its peak yet. And I feel like next year when we get Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, I think that this book will absolutely take a little bit of a bump. This is a ghost book. Like this book, I think of all the first appearances of the Avengers, in some ways is one of the hardest ones to find, one of the lowest pop counts of all books. I mean, I think if you think about it back in the day, this character probably just wasn't as popular. This book didn't sell as much, so there's just not as many copies floating around out there. There are so many things I actually want to say about this book, but we gotta like flip through the piles. So I might make an additional video just talking about this thing. All right, the next one I picked up here is one that I never able to sort of find the copy that I felt was right for me until the other day, which is Tales To Astonish, number 52. First appearance of the Nathan Garrett version of The Black Knight. Now, this is a book that got super hot coming off the heels of Eternals, like all the Black Knight spec, all the Black Knight books were getting really hot, which was surprising to me because I didn't feel like Nathan Garrett was going to move the needle, so to speak. I mean, I felt like the Dane Whitman version would, but I didn't think that this book would also be, getting hot in the market, but it did. But the reason I personally wanted it is because I wanted to collect all of the first appearances of the Masters of Evil. So I have Radioactive Man, I have Zemo, I have Melter, and I finally got Black Knight here. So I'm super excited to have all of them. Just a little mini collecting goal of mine. It'll be interesting to see, like, when we get into the weeds with Dane Whitman and the Black Knight mythos, maybe there is going to be a Nathan Garrett. Maybe Dane Whitman goes up against him. I don't know how they're going to do it, but that could be a book that gets hot. This next one here is a cool one. This is Sergeant Fury and the Howling Commandos. Number 5, first appearance of Baron Strucker. Of course, I did a video with Como Comic Books and Bryce Comic Books where we talked about some undervalued keys. I brought up this one right here, First Appearance of Baron Strucker. I personally think that the Sergeant Fury books are definitely undervalued overall, but I like this book right here because when I was looking at comps of villain characters, this one was definitely undervalued in comparison. I also like the fact that we had Baron Strucker in Age of Ultron, and you know, I don't think any character's ever dead. I don't think any character's ever done. I feel like if they want to do a Hydra plot, they'll probably bring back that actor to reprise the role, and that's why I thought getting a book like this would be a good idea. Found this one here for $60, not too bad of a price. You know, it was probably like a VG copy or so. All right, speaking of the Masters of Evil, the next book I got is a Tales of Suspense, number 47, first appearance of the Melter, another Masters of Evil team member. And it's really funny because after having gone a year, having not been able to find a better copy of this particular book, which I already had in my collection, I actually ended up finding during Black Friday. And then, you know, after I found that book on Black Friday, I go to Ontario and I find this book right here, which looks better than both of them. So I decided to, you know, continue to sort of upgrade, you know, buy the new book, get a good deal on this. And this one I scored for $50. So what a steal in my opinion. I think that's a great book. I love those early Iron Mans, and I love the Melter. All right, next book I got right here is another upgrade in my collection. This is Thor number 137, first appearance of a character known as Ulik. Ulik is a very popular villain within the Thor mythos, and earlier in the year there was a lot of speculation that Ulik could be showing up in the Loki show. That didn't come to fruition, but it does still feel like Ulik is a character that could eventually make their way into like the Thor universe. I mean, perhaps when they do Loki season 2, they'll bring in Ulik to that world, but regardless, I still like this book. It's one that I already have in my collection, but I think that this was a nicer copy, so I was really happy to get this one. I'll probably move on with my old one, and you know, as they say, you got to trade up with the books that you get. So I think I scored that for like $17 or so. Next book I got right here is another one that is a upgrade of a book I already have. That is going to be Tales To Astonish, number 81, first appearance of Boomerang. Now, if you are a fan of Spider-Man, you are reading the Nick Spencer run, you will definitely know about the Boomerang right there. Definitely a lower tier villain in the rogue gallery of Spider-Man villains, but definitely a cool book in my opinion. Maybe a cool character, I don't really know. I mean, maybe has some potential. He's kind of like the watered down Bullseye, although he made his appearance in comics before Bullseye. All right, this next book I got is Invincible Iron Man, number 17, kind of a hot book right now, you know, due to speculation that we might be getting Madame Mask in the MCU. I mean, a lot of people are thinking that Kate Bishop's mom is actually going to be Madame Mask. I mean, at the time of recording this video, we haven't gotten the final episode yet, so I actually don't know if that's the case. Maybe when you see this thing, you're going to know if in fact we did get Madame Mask, but I didn't want to be left out of the club, so I decided to pick up this book. Found a low grade one. This is probably like a VG minus. Got it for like 20 bucks. Not too bad overall. It presents okay. I mean, you can see it's got some dog ears and stuff like that. Got some color breaks up there, but still a cool book in my opinion. And if we get this character, you know, who knows, you know, if that book is going to explode in the market. All right, speaking of Iron Man books, I was in that section and I was digging around and I found this one right here, Invincible Iron Man number 27, first appearance of Firebrand. This one I thought was really interesting. I mean, I got this one for $5. This is sort of that way out, long-term, who knows speculation, but I figured getting a first appearance of a character like Firebrand, you know, could amount to something cool later on in the future. Who really knows? But for $5, Silver Age book, 15 center, I thought it was worth picking it up. All right, this next one here I got is a very cool one that has definitely taken a dip recently, but this is Special Marvel Edition number 16. This is actually the second appearance of Shang-Chi. But one thing that's really cool about this book is that it's actually the first appearance of this character here called Midnight. Now, Midnight, I don't know too much about this character, but as someone who is a big fan of the Silver Surfer Volume 3 run by Steve Englehart, I do know of Midnight having a big kind of storyline within context to the Silver Surfer in those books. So that got me always really interested in this character, and I always wanted to own his first appearance because of the fact that, you know, I love all these random villains and things like that. But it's also really cool cool that this is the second appearance of Shang-Chi. And this was one that got really hot off the heels of the Shang-Chi movie, but definitely has had its correction. And I think I ended up scoring this one for $10. I mean, like this cover is beautiful. It presents really nicely, but there is like some water damage like down here on the back. You know, not too bad. I mean, you guys have seen books like that has a little bit of the water damage at the bottom. But for $10, I mean, definitely a great pickup. Second appearance of Shang-Chi. This will definitely heat up again when we get, you know, Shang-Chi #2. All right, moving on to the next couple books. These are all kind of, you know, spec-ish type of stuff, kind of like the Midnight one. This one is Longshot #3. First appearance of Mojo. Of course, if you guys remember, Mojo was that big fat yellow villain of the X-Men, probably the biggest villain to Longshot right here. I found this copy for like $8, so to me, it's always worth picking up stuff like this. This next book here I got is Luke Cage, Hero for Hire, #12, and this is the first appearance of a character known as Camistro. Camistro, just sort of a B-tier villain who made his appearance in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. And if you've been watching my channel for some time, you know how highly I speak of Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I think that there's a lot of interesting spec that came out of that cartoon that can be applied to the MCU. These next two books I'm going to talk about in tandem. I've actually talked about them in a previous comic book haul. I decided to pick up more copies for myself because they were so cheap. This one right here is Champions #7, first appearance of of Darkstar, and then this one right here, Invincible Iron Man 109, first appearance of Vanguard. Two members of the Winter Guard team, basically the Russian Avengers. I'm someone who believes that the MCU is going to be bringing in the Winter Guard. I mean, we have the Red Guardian, David Harbour, reprising his role. He's signed on for more movies. All right, this next book here is one that actually is kind of sad as far as its value is concerned, because I don't think that it's ever going to, get another big spike, so to speak, because I feel like it missed its window. But this is Mighty Thor #344. And what is the significance of this? Well, this, of course, is the first appearance of Malekith, who is the elf villain from Thor: The Dark World. Now, I do say that, I think no character is ever truly done. I think characters probably show up in the MCU again. But, being that the brand of Malekith was so sabotaged, even Malekith is one that I'm a little bit suspect would show up again in the MCU. This book is actually still pretty affordable, and I just didn't have it. So I actually wanted to pick up a copy. But, Malekith also had a significant role in the Jason Aaron crossover event, right? It was like War of the Realms or something like that. So, he's still a character that has some significance, and who really knows? I mean, I don't know if they'll bring him back, but could be something fun that they do later on in the future. The next two books I got are some Avengers books, right? I'm working on my Avengers run, so I had to pick up some Avengers books. But this one here was Avengers #94. This is the first appearance of the Mandroids. I knew that I wanted to find a copy of this thing, but every time I find it, I do actually see that people kind of charge a premium on it. So it wasn't until this one right here, which I ended up getting this one probably with a discount would have been like $15. So not too expensive overall, if you ask me. Definitely a good deal. I see this one being charged for like 30, maybe up to 40 all the time because of the fact that it's first appearance of Mandroids. Other one I just needed for the run here, Avengers #98. All right, this next one here is another one. I just had to pick it up every time I see it. Every time I see it at a good deal. You know me, I love Apocalypse. I believe in this book. X Factor #6. I think this is a book that everybody should have in their collection. The most affordable blue chip character first appearance, in my opinion. Got this one for $50. This is actually probably the nicest copy I have. Could use a press, but I think that this is probably a 9.6. Maybe it's a 9.8 if I get a really good presser on it. So I had to pick this one up when I saw it. $50, not bad in my opinion. All right, second to last book here. This is actually one that I've actually wanted for quite some time. But this is The Vision #1 by Tom King. And one of the reasons why I've personally wanted this book is due to the fact that it's actually the first appearance of Viv Vision. Now, Viv Vision is the daughter of Vision who ends up joining the Champions team. And if we think about all the speculation going on, we see the landscape. We think that maybe the Champions are going to appear at some point in the future with Sam Alexander and Miles Morales, et cetera, et cetera. I think Viv Vision is an important member of that team. And this is a book that I think is actually a really, affordable spec overall. I mean, it does, generally speaking, cost around $20 or something like that. I got it around that price. But I do actually think that this is a book that can grow in value over time. And I absolutely love this cover. It was one that got super hot, during WandaVision because of the fact that, we all knew that they were going to be sort of basing WandaVision off of the aesthetics of this Vision series right here. And, you know, you never really know. Viv Vision, you know, could eventually make an appearance if Marvel decides to go with the youth. All right, and the last book I got here to cap it all off is a Strange Tales number 180, first appearance of Gamora. I started my haul with TTA 44 talking about a book that I felt like is undervalued, and I'm going to finish my haul with Strange Tales 180, another book that I feel like is very undervalued. First appearance of Gamora. A lot of people, you know, kind of like went away from this book because it felt like, you know, Gamora died. Maybe people were thinking she wasn't going to return, but we actually got some images on James Gunn's Twitter showing the cast, and amongst that cast was in fact Zoe Saldana. So we know that she's going to return in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And as far as a Warlock cover is concerned, I actually think this one is pretty cool. But to me, when I look at the prices of this thing and compare Gamora to other characters, I definitely think that this book is very undervalued. I was able to get this copy for, I think, $90 or so, which is a pretty good price if you ask me. And I think that this is probably like an 8.5. Maybe it's a 9.0, and with a press definitely could get a pretty high grade. Well, that is all I have for this video. That was my comic book haul at Ontario Comic Con. Let me know what you guys think. How did I do? Hope you guys enjoyed the video. I mean, I am so stoked that I got a Tales to Astonish 44. This is a great book. This is definitely one of the hardest ones I think to come across. So I'm super happy to have it in my collection. Anyways, that is all I have for this video. Drop me a like, comment, subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and I'll see you in the next one.